Welcome back. So when we left off, we had just put down yet another rebellion in our vassal, and I've decided I'm going to build up a bit of influence and integrate this vassal to get these rebellions under control. After that, I should be able to start working on the allied Theban systems, which is going to call in the Centomeroi stellar polity in the process, but I'm getting real tired of these rebellions, and since the vassal is just unable to manage them, I'm gonna handle that another way. Looks like the construction ship finally finished all of its jobs, so we're gonna give it some new ones, because we've been ever expanding our territory. And the sector has some more systems to take control of. Again, it'd be nice if the sector built all this stuff. I do have space construction on in the sector, but it just doesn't work for some reason. The game has been struggling with sector AI ever since launch. If it's not the sector doing one thing wrong, it's doing something else. And it seems like as fast as they can smash bugs, new ones pop up. But I have over 200 influence, so integrating this guy is going to cost 450 at 5 per month, so that's what, 90 months? Yeah, and I'm hemorrhaging 0.75 per month, so it won't even cost me 100 influence over the course of it, and I can live with a 100 influence buffer, I think. Let me check the ages on these scientists. A few of them are kind of old, but it'll be 7 years before he even has a risk of dying, and 8 years for him. And I should be able to replace both of them in time. So, should be good to go. I'd like to do something about the Agarian cartel, but like I said before, they have a defensive alliance with the Lavis autocracy. And if we take a look at our contacts list, the Lavis autocracy is the only one on the same tier of power as me. Although it looks like the Righteous Cartel, or the Righteous League, is messing them up now. And let's see. Yeah, they're all at war. If we look at the numeric opinions, minus 279 and only a little bit because they're at war. So they do not like that stuff at all. In the meantime though, they're not terribly fond of me, but they don't hate me nearly as much as they hate some of the other people in the area. So I'm still relatively safe from any possible aggression from the Federation, which gives me plenty of time to expand up into the northeast. And by the time I finish eating the Centomeroi, I should be able to tear through the Lavis autocracy. I'm officially going to be getting to the point where I'm just very scary before long. But let's expand our fleets a bit more. I can support up to 500, so I'd like to get both of these fleets up to 200-ish. It's not going to fit as nicely as I'd like it to, mainly because I have a bunch of small ships in the fleet still. But I'm also not exactly... I'm not using the ratio of ships that I'd really like to use. Let's see. That'll give me 20 cruisers in each, and I've got 7 battleships lined up for each one. And only a few months left until I have kinetic batteries. And I'm keeping my fleets in position down here to deal with rebellions because this guy has shown that he's going to have an abundance of them. And let's see, what is this planet? Yeah, I'll start terraforming this one. Get that moving. I'd like to terraform these two as well, but I really need to not be building the frontier outpost. When I absorb the allied Theban systems, I'm going to gain a few extra planets as well. There's always some new person to conquer. Or in this case, an old one that should have been conquered but decided he'd rather be spiteful.
Construction complete. Construction complete. Construction complete.
And again, because I have my rally point set to my planet but not my fleet, any new ships that I construct are going to rally to a staging point in the middle of my empire, and then I can send them out to their new destination as I see fit. I find it's an easier way of managing your fleets than trying to play with the rally points on the fleets themselves. But overall though, we are very big and very scary. Yeah, even the Lavis autocracy is averaging out to inferior to us now. I think he's losing some ships to the war with the Righteous League, but we're to the point where even the strongest people in the Righteous League are showing as inferior, and that bodes very well for us. So we're going to split this fleet and 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Excellent. And that'll give us 20 cruisers and 7 battleships in each of those fleets. But I think I want to build some more battleships to even it out. I like having 2 cruisers per battleship in my combat fleets once it's all said and done. And so I'm going to get working on that. One of the nicer parts about having so many of my planets in my domain is that I can mass produce ships. And I'm going to get this level 4 armor, which is going to make my cruisers extremely dangerous. I just got the kinetic battery as well. So on my battleships, I'm going to first off clear the designs out. And we're going to start with the kinetic batteries. Throw on the infused plating. We'll throw on both infused platings. We'll be replacing some of the infused platings with, or one of the infused platings with regenerative plating as soon as we can. And I believe we're researching the next level of reactor as well, which we will need, obviously. Yeah, we're not even at the 90% cap on our battleships anymore for the 90% cap for armor, which is troubling. But let's see. Yeah, we are working on the next tier of reactor and the next tier of armor. And I'm actually going to hold off on refitting until I get the regenerative hull tissue. Yeah, because that's less than a year out. We're going to be we're not going to have any big wars anytime too soon. We're a third of the way done integrating our vassal. So everything is coming up pretty well so far.
Construction complete. Construction complete.
As all of our spaceports finish up. So now we have a bunch of new battleships to send to our fleets. What happened? People are being real uppity. Are they still at war? Yes, they are. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but I do know that Centomeroi does not stand a chance against me. See, this truce is still ongoing, so I can't check, but when I declare war on the Allied Theban systems, they're going to call the Centomeroi in with them.
System survey complete.
So even though the Centomeroi and I have a defensive pact, I think that'll break it immediately, but that's fine. I'm capable of standing on my own 2 feet. The only ones who can really threaten me are the entirety of the Righteous League, and like I said, the Righteous League doesn't hate me nearly as much as they hate other people. I think that was a new empire rising up. Oh, the Human Republic. Nice. We have some humans in here. And we have rebels. Surprise, surprise.
Research complete.
Regenerative hull tissue is finished. So let's grab... I'll grab the 5% extra habitability. It's not really that helpful for me, but I think it leads to some other nice technologies. Alright, so our transports are in position. The fleet is now in position, bottling 60 per day. So we just need to wait until... We have the check mark, so I'm just going to go ahead and invade now. The check mark pops up on the outliner, not on the planetary frame. Xenomorph armies are pretty dangerous. I'm confident they'll handle the situation. Yeah, you can see they're not having any problem dealing with this planet. Some rebels just don't really stand much of a chance. And in this case, it was those rebels. Alright, so now I will send these fleets back to the staging point with the rest of my fleets. And... yeah, I think I want to wait for the antimatter reactor so that I can free up some extra low slots. I'm burning way too many on reactors instead of useful modules. And you can see the number of people in the liberation sector, or the sector liberation faction, are continually decreasing. I think this is the planet that I took over. No, that's the one I colonized. This is the planet I took over. Bundaga, or Bundaga, so yeah. 12 of them are still these people being mad at having been conquered. And they're pretty unhappy overall because of the policies, but they've got negative ethics divergence, which means they'll switch to the correct ethics, and then they won't be so mad. So it's fine, and the number of people in the faction at all is decreasing. Because the sector is so big, the faction actually represents a comparatively small portion of the sector's population, and as a result of that, the cost to suppress it is pretty low. And one thing that's actually pretty interesting is I have 95% habitability on the Alari. The Alari are... which species? I think they're one that I acquired. Yeah,
Research complete.
that's why. They're an adaptable species, so they just get an extra 10% because reasons. Alright, so I finished the antimatter reactor. There's no rebellion right now, so I'm good there. I think I'm going to get... yeah, I'm going to get the final tier of labs, finally. Allied Seven Systems are closing their borders with me. I guess they figured out that this isn't going to be peaceful with them. Yeah, the truce is up. But let us fix our battleship. We still want the kinetic batteries. In here we want a crystalline fused plating and a regenerative hull tissue. Then we want enough antimatter reactors to be positive on power output. And the rest is armor. And now we're back at the 90%. So we'll replace that for the broadside cruisers. Yeah, we need to upgrade them too. So, right, they can't use kinetic batteries because I'm not using any of their large slots. But we can use the rest of this stuff pretty well. And we need 2 antimatter reactors, and we can fill the rest up with armor. And we're up to 75% mitigation. That's hard to complain about. Let's see, for our destroyers, we'll have the 1 kinetic battery and the 1 railgun. And we'll take the regenerative tissue. We will need antimatter reactors in several slots. And we'll fill the remainder with shields. There we go. And then our corvettes, we will upgrade them with the better railguns, regenerative hull tissue, fill it out with antimatter reactors, and then throw on shields until we're good. Perfect. So now we'll send this fleet here, this fleet here. This construction ship is missing a station there. And because our fleet is divided, I can send them to different spaceports pretty easily with no effort on my part. Or no real effort on my part. We have rebels, but they're gonna have to wait a minute. My fleets are busy being upgraded. Yeah, the vassal only has a 500 strong fleet. He's just useless. Alright, and we're gonna get the bio labs to go with those physics labs. And actually, while we have a moment, I'm gonna cycle through the planets and see what needs building and upgrading. Because I have not been paying as much attention to this as I would like. Which in small part, I usually play on normal speed, but Normal speed is a good way to essentially marathon this game, which is fine when I'm playing by myself, but I imagine the entertainment value of watching like 60 episodes, of which several will be at peace at any given time, probably isn't that great. Oh, the fleets are barely upgraded. Okay. So what's going on down here? Yeah, I'm just gonna have them go deal with the rebels, and then after the rebellion I'll have them upgrade. Just upgrade the fleets one at a time. That way I'll have one ready to deal with this continuous rebellion that's going on down here. And once I acquire these planets, because of how far my borders push, I should be able to encompass this space here as well, which will let me terraform some additional planets. By now you should have a good idea of how much I hate terraforming planets. And I'm going to send them on their way. The xenomorph armies are just really good in general. And we can see there's only a year left on the integration, so should only be 2 or 3 more rebellions. Which, as I've mentioned, this has just been a silly number of rebellions to have to put up with. I've never seen it this bad before. But they've got the check mark, so we'll go ahead and land them. Our survey ship is still out doing its job. Excellent work, survey ship. Xenomorphs putting the ground troops down. You can see the percentage ticking very quickly in my favor. And yet another rebellion put down. I'm really tempted, after this is all over, to go back and look at just how many rebellions I actually had to put down, because this is silly. But our other fleet, yeah, see, they're only at 30% upgraded. There's a lot of changes. Basically, every single ship needs to be updated for new blueprints. And the result of that is that it takes a while to upgrade the fleets. And I don't think I'm going to lose control of that system anytime soon. So let's check. I don't think I need this outpost anymore either, considering I have colonies in the system. And now we're not even hemorrhaging influence while integrating. Only 25 people left? Yeah, see, Bondoga people are much less angry about having been recently integrated into the Empire. And as a result, the faction has dropped support a lot, and the cost to suppress went down 0.16 per month. So everything's going along pretty nicely for the Unity at this point. Only 3 months remaining, so it doesn't look like we're going to get another rebellion. We just got the new armor while we were still upgrading. It's atrocious. The Ripper autocannon is important. I don't intend to use the Ripper itself, but the Ripper serves as a prerequisite to the flak battery. And the flak battery and flak artillery I do intend to use. Those are my preferred point defense weapons, mostly because they're actually decent against ships as well. Alright, integration complete, so we're going to go ahead and pause it real quick. Scrap that outpost because it's not even remotely necessary. Scrap his fleets there. Scrap those combat fleets. I don't need them anymore. Adding new planets to this sector. I actually took an even bigger chunk of that space than I was expecting. And there we go. So now we're back inside our core world limit. We've got a bunch of extra capacity and plenty of worlds to now terraform. So we're going to get those terraforming started. And plenty of work for the construction ship. You can see, even though I've only got the one construction ship, it's doing a pretty good job of keeping up on things. It's always busy, but even then it still has moments where it runs out of things to do. I'm actually going to update my cruiser design and my battleship, I suppose. Clear out all of the old armor since I now have the next tier. Armor, of course, doesn't use any power or anything like that, so I don't have to manage any additional reactors. But we will have our fleets upgrade, and then have everything when it's done rally up here. This world, I believe I started terraforming already. Yep. It's actually fairly well underway. Checking through the planets again.
System survey complete.
It's always a battle trying to keep up with a large core empire. But I think I'm finally getting to the point where new structures are just not popping up anywhere near as much. God damn it. So the Lavis guys are now guaranteeing the Theban sons. The Lavis sons are guaranteeing the Theban autocracy, or the Theban systems, which is annoying. And they're not even remotely going to take a peaceful vassalization. That is super irritating. They keep getting saved by giant people next to them, but I don't think it's going to help them for too much longer, to be honest. It's getting very close to the point where I'll just say hell with it and fight everybody. And my fleet power is about to jump through the roof. Yeah, see, he's also in a defensive pact. Yeah, see, the Lavis are busy with the Righteous League, so really I'm really just waiting on my fleets to upgrade, which is going to take a while. There's a lot of changes. And this faction has grown, so the cost to suppress is up to 0.71, but I've resolved my constant influence problems that I was having. And as a result, It's not a big deal. And how is the sector doing on resources? Because I'm more or less overflowing. So I'm going to go ahead and feed it some minerals so that it can spend them as it sees fit. And I'm sure it'll find something to do with them. I'm still tempted to destroy, or to actually destroy these corvettes and corvettes and destroyers in these fleets, just to replace them with cruisers and battleships. But I kind of want to make the enemy earn it as well. Let's see, who are you friends with? Sieben and myself. Non-aggression pacts with a few people. That's fine though. As long as Lavis is at war with the Righteous League, I'm feeling pretty confident he's not going to be able to actually interfere with my war down here. Certainly not fast enough. But at the top of the year, I'm going to go ahead and insert a break. And now you can see this region of space is far more stable. That's all I want to do. I just want to stabilize the galaxy. If everybody were under my rule, then there wouldn't be any war or rebellion, and people would be generally just more cool with it. Why don't people understand that? Anyway, I hope you're enjoying the video so far, and thank you for watching.